and probably always will be, a negative connotation to how Chinese people have treated the Philippines and Filipinos. So, what's up? This is Gilsarvergara with Duma Life. Follow me on Instagram, that's Gilsar_Vergara, or Dumaguete Life blogs on FB. I'm gonna put it right there. This might be a contentious video. Why do you believe that the Chinese Filipinos have become ultra successful in the Philippines? Just to be very transparent with you, I do have Chinese in me. I do have Spanish in me, and potentially I have French German in me as well as Filipino, and I'm sure indigenous Filipino in my blood. I'm very proud to say that I'm sure have indigenous blood in my running through these veins, so I'm very proud. Most Filipinos are kind of they step away from that, which I don't know why, but I'm very proud that I'm sure I have indigenous blood in me. Yeah, so why do you believe Chinese Filipinos have been so successful in the Philippines? And this is a question that because I don't look Chinese, or maybe to some people, maybe some, I don't know. What makes them, the set of people, Chinese Filipinos, Chinoys, so successful, or have been so successful, or many of them have become successful in the Philippines? Because, you know, since my father was super frugal, his mindset was a lot different than many Pinoys. And I believe these things that I was brought up into, it made me who I am, obviously. And that's why I have issues with socializing with people, really having a lot of friends and things like that, because I'm so focused on one thing, and that's success. And I think for most Chinese Filipinos, especially the ones who are super successful or the ones who are just straight out grinders, I think that's what it is. They're so focused on success. With success and discipline, that's a very dangerous combination. Because success, discipline, and let me add on persistence, can be super beneficial to anyone's life. And I have had my setbacks, as well as my families, as well as many other people. I have had my setbacks, and I tell my nephews all the time, they're all young, and my nieces, I'm playing catch up. To a degree, they see me as somewhat successful because they see how my life has turned out. But in my eyes, in myself, I see that I am still playing catch up, because I'm almost 40 years old, and I'm not really where I should be in my head. So I'm working up to it. But to some people, especially my immediate family, they might think I'm somewhat successful. But whatever. On the flip side, and let's just be transparent, there has been, and probably always will be, a negative connotation to how Chinese people have treated the Philippines and Filipinos. So I know for a fact that Chinese Filipinos have not been treated, or just the Chinese in general who come to the Philippines, they have not been treated like equals for a super long time in the Philippines. And being that you are not treated equal, and to a degree, there was a point in time where I'm sure they felt oppressed. You had no resort, because they couldn't fit into society, because they were kind of deemed like second-class citizens. You had to make your own way, and with that, there's struggle, and through struggle, you become strong. And it just happened that they acquired a lot of property because they weren't given opportunities, just like many other Filipinos back then, probably, to, you know, thrive in a particular profession or whatever. So then what did they have to do? They had no choice but to make their own income. With that, and along the shortcomings of some Filipinos, as in fiesta time all the time, utang, 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 Chinese people come in because they're doing business. They're already naturally frugal people. What happens? It's a good mix. You, as a regular born Filipino, you want to utang because you want to sometimes live beyond your means. Chinese person says, oh, here's some money, whatever. If you don't pay me, your house is up for collateral. Or you willingly give the house or the property, like, I can't pay you, this utang is so much, let me just give you my this as a collateral. And with that said, now when I say Chinese people, these are people who are coming from the bottom up, and as well as people who they have gotten to certain professions that literally, you know, becoming a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, opens you up to a different world, different opportunities. So that's another video of how they've been prolific in doing things like that. Now, for the ones who are coming from the bottom up, especially the ones around the time where Chinese were considered second-rate citizens, had no choice but to run business. No one's going to give them a shot. What do you think is going to happen? That's all I'm saying. That's my opinion. That's all I'm saying. Because it happened to my family, you know, I guess to the Chinese part of my family. So, you know, a lot of my family ended up making soaps, making things just to sell and to tinda, just to make ends meet. It just so happens because of the frugality of them and just keeping money so tight and not spending it, not splurging and stuff like that. They had money to be like, oh, you need a loan? Okay, here you go. Oh, that house is for sale? Here you go. Or that land is for sale? Here you go. Because if you notice, like a Chinese person will have a massive business or a really great good looking business, but they just eat noodles. That's a running joke. And, you know, in the Philippines they eat soup, or, you know, and to a degree that's kind of like how I am now. How I am, like my salary here in America is significantly higher than what I made when I first came back as a technician, as a service manager. My salary is significantly bigger, but I still live as if I was still a technician, and that's a difference, I believe, in how I conduct myself. And I don't know if it's because of my father raised me, my parents raised me. That's pretty much, you know, how I am as a person. My father was super tight with money, man, and from stories I heard from his father and his grandfather and his great-grandfather, super tight with money, man, like super tight. Like, there's a story, I believe it was my great-great-grandfather. He would take bulad, the salted fish. He would buy it like on Monday, and it'll last him like 4 days, because what he would do is he would steam some water, hang up the salted fish because he don't want the cats getting to it, hang it up on the rafters, dip it in the hot water as a soup, as a broth, and hang it up again. And then he would use the saltiness of that, maybe a little piece of bread. That would be his food. And mind you, he had small little businesses here and there, you know, livestock and other things. Now, day 4, there's pretty much no more salt in there, probably. Then he would eat it with very little bread or rice. And that was his lifestyle, from what I heard. Now, in today's age, are you willing to make those sacrifices like that? Like living super minimalist. And in today's age, many Chinese still do. And Chinese Filipinos still do. It's the one, I believe it's when they get older, they start getting heavy into the gambling. And usually the second and third generation is the ones who splurge the money, because if you guys don't know how certain wealth works, the first generation makes it happen, the second generation sees it happen, the third generation just squanders it away most of the time. That's pretty much it. What do you think? Why do you think the Chinese Filipinos have just done so well in the Philippines? Why do you think that section of Filipinos, type of Filipino, has done very well? What are your thoughts? What are your comments? Maybe I might do a video on why Spanish people Spanish mestizos have done well in the Philippines. That's a bit more simple, because, you know, the hierarchy, you know, it's sad but not sad. I don't know how to feel how to feel about it, because, as you know, my mom is Spanish Filipino. You know, we probably come from one of the founding families in Negros. So, or if not the founding families, one of the more wealthier families. It didn't trickle down that much to us, but we're part of that group. I don't know how to feel about that. You know, other Filipinos might feel a certain way of how I am and how I think and stuff like that, but give me your thoughts. You know, there's nothing wrong in conversating and debating if it's calm and, you know, constructive and moving forward. But either way, comment down below your thoughts and, you know, your opinions. And I'll talk to you later. Take care. Give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon.